Hello traders and welcome back to another market update. My name is Nick, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the currency market up to date and seeing what's going on as far as trade ideas, major levels, looking at the major and some of the minor pairs to see what's going on in the currency market. Now first we're going to start out with Euro USD as per usual, which you can see recently has been trading kind of sideways, right? In the overall context, we've been in a pretty strong downtrend here on Euro USD. You can see if we draw this trend line, we're still kind of respecting that overall downtrend, but if we drop it down to the 4-hour and even the 1-hour chart, you can see that more recently we have seen a little bit more of a wedge formation. You can see we did get a fake out to the downside with some sort of news that came out, but overall you can see that the price has been chattering to the downside, but more recently we've had kind of a stall out here as price has gone back and forth, waiting for some sort of decisive movement. Now watching this going forward, it might be interesting to see because we could see some sort of breakout and retest opportunity. If you have been watching the market updates for a while, what you'll notice is that a lot of times we talk about the concept of a consolidated range, right? Of a price tightening, and then we get some sort of break to the up or downside. And there's a lot of times some sort of opportunity on the retest, right? So if price breaks out of this to the upside and we see some sort of opportunity to retest this major level that we've been watching, then that could be a great opportunity to look for some sort of continued buy off of that retest. That's just one idea. Also on the sell side too. GBP USD is our next one. And if we take a look at the daily chart here, what you can see is that we're currently coming into a level that we had talked about. And you can see we did already get some sort of rejection off of this level. Now, what you see is historically, we had a bounce here, we had a bounce here, and we had a rejection point here, right? So 3 touches on this level, which were respected by the market participants. And so coming into this level, there was a pretty good chance that we'd see something come out of here. So if you're intraday, then this might have already been an opportunity for you to look at. But from the swing trade basis, we might see some further correction. We could wait for some sort of confirmation. We could wait for some other confluence factor to potentially join a sell trade opportunity here, or if price decides to rally, we could look for longs. But the first thing, if you're looking to be long, is we need to see some sort of significant break of this structure. But for now, it's looking pretty bearish in this area, especially in a pullback in the context of a strong overall downtrend. USD JPY is going to be our next one, which has been also trading kind of sideways recently. If we drop it down to the 1-hour, you can see we've been back and forth, really kind of indecisive on this particular market. But if we bring it back to the 4-hour, you can see we've been trending to the upside now, right? And in the overall context, we've been down for quite some time, but in the 4-hour context, we have been pretty bullish here. However, we have not gotten any sort of really major pullback. And so as far as a potential level of support, it would not be out of the question if price can pull back here. We could see a bounce off of this structure. That's something definitely to look for, or definitely to potentially wait for, right? We also have this level here. If those two things came into play together, might be a nice little opportunity on the long side. And of course, if we're looking to be a breakout trader, some sort of break above this recent structure at 108.46 area, that would be something to look for in terms of a potential breakout continuation of this uptrend that we have seen. Brent crude is going to be our next one, which has still been playing with this gap concept. You can see this level here has kind of been held as a level of support, but now it's a level of potential resistance, right? So we've held that level, we broke underneath that level right here, but then on the retest of that area, we did find some sort of rejection once more, and we have not been able to close above. It's acting as potential support right now, as resistance right now, and the question will be if price can break through that, then it might be back to bullish territory, but for the most part right now, this is a sell area. This is a holding the line level. You can see we did get that major break underneath, which was huge for sellers, and so my bias at this area would kind of be on the sell side. WTI crude, similar story. You can see if we highlight this area here, you can see that price was holding as a support there. This was a previous level of resistance, right? So it held as a support beautifully there. We got another second minor bounce before breaking underneath, and now we're just chopping around. So a little bit different here on WTI crude. We did break underneath that level and we did kind of break back above. So just chopping around that level as price decides which way overall the market will be heading. You can see that a lot of times when major levels like this will come about, when buyers and sellers are confused or unsure about which major market direction we're in, they'll chop around at a particular support or resistance level. Next up is XAU USD. And if we bring it to the daily chart, you can see we're still in the context of our first major pullback here on gold. And if we draw the trend line we've been looking at, you can see that price has been bouncing off this level well, and we are seeing some sort of bullish reaction to this area. You can see we did get some sort of buyer support, pushing off of those lows. Now we want to see some sort of continuation. This is the time to see, if buyers can hold this level and get us back up to previous highs, that would be something to look for in terms of potential breakout continuation if you're a breakout trader, or a breakout to the downside is also possible, right? If we see some sort of break underneath this level and some sort of retest, this is a level that I've been watching for quite some time, some sort of breakout of this area and a retest of this trend line as well as this resistance point might be a nice little trade setup to the short side on XAU USD. Next up is going to be USD Canadian. You can see if we take it to the daily chart, you can see we've kind of been pretty choppy on this pair really in the last year. You can see we chopped around quite a bit back here. We did get some sell trend action. We did get some buy trend action, but still seeing some choppy market environments recently. And if we look on the 4-hour chart, you can see that as apparent as well, is we have been holding this level here. This is one to look for as a pullback level. If you want to be long on USD Canadian, it might be an opportunity to look for this 38.2% retracement as a level of potential opportunity. You can see we already did bounce off that level. Price held that zone very, very well recently. And it might give us some sort of second chance if price can come down there to potentially join some sort of push off of that structure, especially that level that has been holding quite well for some time. USD Swiss is our next one, which is in a beautiful uptrend right now. You can see if I draw this trend line here, you can see for the most part, just a very nice, straightforward uptrend. Now, this is good from two reasons. For starters, my bias is going to be to continue to trade this long, right? To continue to look for some sort of continuation of this pattern, at least to recent highs, and potentially, if you're a breakout trader, to look for opportunities to breakout trade that. However, with that in mind, I will be watching USD Swiss for the breakdown of this beautiful little pattern. A lot of times when it comes to trends, it can only last for so long. And if price will break underneath this, this is going to be something where I'm looking for a potential retest and continuation. Again, a very similar structure to the one we just looked on with gold, right? If we get some sort of breakout or a breakdown of this structure, then I'm going to be convinced to look for some sort of short opportunities. But for the time being, my bias is going to be long just because of the nice, strong uptrend that we do see and the potential continuation of that trend. Next up is going to be Euro New Zealand. We're looking at the daily chart, and the reason I wanted to look at this one is because we look like we have some sort of breakout potential here. If price can stay above this level, that's going to be pretty bullish for buyers as they push past historical level highs, right? This level was wicked on, this level was wicked on 3 times in a row, you can see. So if price can close above significantly, this might be a sign of continuation here on Euro New Zealand, which may lead us to head up to recent highs. I'm sorry, well, kind of not really recent, but all-time highs in the last kind of several weeks here. You can see this level here is a level that kind of lines up well with that one as well. And also we have even longer term that big zone up here at the 1.8330. Watching this on Euro New Zealand and watching all of the technical analysis that we shared today for potential opportunities. Thanks guys for joining me on today's market update. We'll catch you next time.